So without further ado, I will introduce our presenter. Jamal Jones is the Director of Business Development for the City of Harrisburg. As a member of the city's Community and Economic Development team, Jamal addresses the needs of both new and existing businesses, including job retention and growth, expansion needs, financial incentives, permitting, and regulatory guidance. His previous experience includes 8 years in workforce development, where most recently he was the director of an employment and training program for young adults. In addition to his professional experience, Jamal currently volunteers as a board member with 3 local nonprofit organizations. When he's not working or volunteering, Jamal enjoys spending quality time with his wife and 2 children. So now, Jamal, thank you so much for being here with us today, and I'll let you take over.
Thanks a lot, Ashley. I really appreciate being able to be here again today. Thank you to the audience who will be joining us today. So we're going to talk about starting and growing a small business. This is a subject which is very important to me. I've worked in this industry for several years now, and really just, I have a pretty good understanding of the importance of small business. So I'm happy to help people who have those inclinations to want to go into business for themselves. Just wanted to begin by sharing some information about our economic development team, at the City of Harrisburg. Nona Watson is our Director of Economic Development. So if after today, if you're interested in getting any more information, please feel free to reach out to us at the city. Business development at harrisburgpa.gov is our joint email address. So please, again, feel free to contact us there, and someone will get back to you and give you the assistance that you're looking for. So again, as Ashley mentioned in the introduction, I work with the City of Harrisburg. I'm the Director of Business Development as part of the Department of Economic Development. We are there to provide the various needs and guidance that businesses may be seeking, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur with a new business or an existing business. There's several different kinds of help and assistance, and tons of resources that we're able to provide. Today in our presentation, we'll talk about financial incentives, also dig into the permitting and regulatory process, and talk about different events that we have throughout the year. And as Ashley said, at the end, I want to leave some time at the end for some of the questions that you may have. In addition to the email I shared, City of Harrisburg, we are on all the major social media platforms, so feel free to tap in there. Follow us on either one of these sites, just so you can stay up to date on any of the information that's coming out, whether it be events, programs, other workshops. Make sure you check us out on those platforms. So for today's webinar, we will be focusing on economic development services, events, additional programming, which is coming up. But the bulk of today, we really want to drill down into steps to starting and validating a small business. This will include discussing just coming up with an idea and really evaluating whether that idea will work, looking at whether you are doing the appropriate research and how to do that. I'll share some resources for to help you research your business, coming up with a business plan, which is essential to starting a business. We'll look at some specific financing options because we all know that that's very important. And then lastly, we'll discuss registration and licensing. Okay, so a small business is defined as an independent business with fewer than 500 employees. So this is really going to capture many different kinds of businesses, from your home healthcare agencies, startup staffing agencies, down to your barbershops, salons, even the one-person businesses that are maybe run out of your home. E-commerce is really gotten huge over the last decade or so. We've seen that become even more important over the last 8 or 9 months. I know my wife is a big fan of Etsy. She purchases things from Etsy all the time. So that person who is receiving those orders and shipping out those products, whether it's just one person at a time, that is considered a small business. There are more than 30.7 million small businesses in the U.S. that account for 65% of net new jobs. So as we can see, the presence and the impact of small businesses on our larger business economy is very important. Some additional fast facts that I want to jump right into at the beginning, which I think is important, is just to have a little discussion about the impact of COVID-19 on the small business community. I don't want to sugarcoat at all that COVID-19 has had a pretty significant impact on small business. Small businesses have probably been hit the hardest when you look at just the larger business landscape. But I don't share this necessarily as anything to dissuade you or discourage you from going into business for yourself. Really, it's just kind of a fact of the matter. So if you look at the data, it shows that our smaller businesses with anywhere from 20 to 49 employees really have taken the steepest decline in employment at a rate of 21.5%. So again, just wanted to put that out there just to kind of normalize that, to show you that, yes, small businesses, have taken the biggest hit, because you figure some of the services that were being provided by small businesses, maybe went away first due to the fact that businesses may have been just run by one person. If you look at some of the industries that small businesses touch, so now we're talking about some of your retail, so small novelty shops. These were not essential businesses. So when the statewide closure orders came out, many of those businesses were not allowed to be open. Obviously, not being open would affect the ability to generate any revenue. So some of those businesses needed to lay off employees, close their doors. Hopefully they'll be able to come back, but fact of the matter is, maybe a percentage of those businesses will not return. But again, this is not to discourage you. From some of the talks that I have with people in the industry, they still say that really there's no bad time to go into business for yourself. Really, as we'll talk about today, it's more just about making sure your business is scalable, is feasible, and really just carving out your niche in the market. On the bright side, I also want to share these numbers, is that if you go back to kind of pre-pandemic, pre-COVID-19, as you'll see, really dating back a decade, there had been consistent growth in businesses that were opening, and as that compared to businesses that were closing, we see that there are more businesses that were continuing to open. So I think overall, the landscape for small business is positive. I think we can look at COVID-19 as more of a speed bump along that path, as opposed to a brick wall when it comes to opening a small business. So I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the services that we offer through the city of Harrisburg. One-on-one advising, I think, is very important. Some of the time you may have questions that need answered, and you may not know necessarily where to go to get those answers. Yes, we can research things online, but if you're just kind of getting started, just getting your feet wet, you may not be able to interpret maybe some of the data that's out there. So we do provide some one-on-one advising by appointment. Again, I love to have these kinds of conversations and really just share what I know, but then also be able to connect you to other people who are in the industry that may be able to provide you with similar assistance. Permitting and regulatory guidance is typically something that individuals are reaching out, to me about. Sometimes, again, for a person that may just be at the early stages of starting a business, you don't know exactly, well, like they say, you don't know what you don't know. So finding out, what types of licenses you may need to get started, what permits may be out there that you need in order to open your doors to the public, that is important. So a lot of times, I find myself being able to be a connector or be a liaison between a business owner and the appropriate departments that they need to contact at the city. And then lastly, making program referrals. There are many different agencies that are out there to provide you with the assistance you need. You can absolutely reach out to those departments and those agencies on your own, but sometimes it helps to be able to receive a referral. It just may assist with having that agency kind of know who you are in advance, know what your questions are, so that they can begin to identify and provide you with some solutions right away. So some of these services are offered to businesses that are existing, right in Harrisburg. But then, as I'll talk about in a little bit, some of the services that we offer are really just open to anyone, regardless of where you live. We do offer similar workshops as as the one which we're presenting right now, and that we're doing right now with the Dauphin County Library System. We did a workshop series this year. I shared these pictures. These are actually from it's kind of a landmark in time. This was from the last in-person workshop that we did back in March. This was actually on March the 10th. I can remember the date because that following week was when we went home and started working from home, and really have kind of been in a remote status, since then. But looking forward to brighter days. We're looking forward to the time when we can return to kind of do this in a classroom setting, and be together to learn from each other and share information. So workshops are one service and one kind of event that we do put on. Quickly, I'll plug our upcoming workshop, December 8th from 2:30 to 3:30. This is open to everyone. We're partnered with Grow with Google. There'll be a representative from Google will be doing a seminar on how to get your business online and how to just really take advantage of some of the tips and tricks that are out there to utilize Google so that it can be a benefit to your business. So if you're interested, please visit our website, harrisburgpa.gov/workshops, and you'll be able to register for that event. Another kind of program or initiative that we offered in the city this year in August was a local spending campaign called Choose HBG. That was the hashtag that we used, but it was really, Choose HBG was designed to really shine some light on local businesses as a response to COVID-19 and the pandemic. As I just mentioned, many small businesses took a hit. So one of our initiatives at the Department of Economic Development was to really just come up with an idea for how we could continue to support those businesses and help to steer, spending, purchasing, contracting to local entrepreneurs. Okay. So, we mentioned that term entrepreneur. So, I think many people have an entrepreneurial spirit. Many people have, really good ideas about what they may be able to do to bring a business to the public. The key there is once you have that idea, it's now what? Now what do we do after that? So if you see from our picture there, acting on a good idea is better than just having a good idea. So what we want to do today is talk about some of the action steps that, we can all take if you want to bring those good ideas to market as a business. An entrepreneur is an individual who takes full responsibility in the decisions made and the risk taken for turning an idea into a business and making a profit. So, I think that, that last part of that statement there, turning that idea into a business and making a profit is really what separates people who just have an idea from people who, actually are entrepreneurs. So again, what we want to do today is, take a look at those steps, consider certain risks, how we, mitigate those risks and move forward into turning that business into an idea and helping you make a profit. I don't know if anyone in the room has been hang gliding before. I sure haven't. But it says here, an entrepreneur is a person who jumps off a cliff, and builds their plane on the way down. So again, I think that speaks to the risk and a little bit of the fear factor that's involved with starting a business and taking that leap, as they say, to go out on your own. I think that's very important to really assess and, as you see here, to evaluate yourself, just to look at the different characteristics that you may have, versus some of the characteristics that maybe you do not possess. So I'll share here a checklist, which I think can be very helpful to self-critique and self-evaluate yourself. So you'll see things here such as a high energy level, a willingness to take risks, a willingness to tolerate uncertainty. I think that is very important because you don't quite know exactly where you're going to go with your business. They say anywhere from 50 to 70% of businesses fail in their first year. That could be quite a risk to take, once you consider the time, the effort, the money that it may take to start a business. So you need to go into that, with eyes wide open, knowing that there is a very high possibility that if you do opt to start a business, that business could fail. You need to be well organized, self-reliant, patient. These are all, as I said, characteristics which you need to honestly evaluate yourself, prior to moving forward. Okay. I'm going to share some very specific steps in starting your business. The first being the idea. As I said before, I think, I'm sure all of you are very creative. You have different passions, you have different skills. All of those things put together kind of become your idea for a business. But that's really just a starting point. You need to determine whether your business is going to be feasible. And by that, you need to really consider, is this something that is scalable? That may also be a term that you hear. What is it going to take for me to move this idea into something that can go to market? So there's many factors that you need to consider, whether it's going to be feasible. Really, will the market accept this business in its current state, or are there some adjustments that I need to make, in order to really, fulfill, my dreams and my goals of becoming an entrepreneur? You can determine that through careful research. I'll share some different techniques and some different strategies today for how to research what it's going to take to bring your business to market. Having a detailed plan is very important. You can't move forward without having a roadmap as to what it's going to take to really start your business, all the way from products, supplies, inventory, down to considering who is my market, who are my customers, who are my competitors. All of that goes into your business plan. Finance, obviously. Registering your business. You have to consider what are the different steps to register your business. Do you need to be registered with your local municipality? Do you need to register with the state? Are there any other licenses or certifications that you may need in order to open your business? And then lastly, as we just shared in that picture of the gentleman hang gliding, taking that leap and implementing your plan. So we talked about feasibility. Just wanted to share some ideas with you about how to determine feasibility. You'll see here is tons of questions, which really I think when you start a business, they're maybe you may have more questions than answers initially, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a problem. You need to really explore your business idea. Does it fit? By fit, I mean taking a look at where you are, your surroundings. Geographically, where do you live? Does your business, fit the local market? Is there an opportunity for you to get into the market? Will you be competing with many other businesses that may not allow you to really carve out your own space or your own niche? If you look at the quadrant there with your business idea in the center, considering lifestyle and values, okay, it's important to think about, again, who are my customers? Does my business help them find or achieve the lifestyle that they want? Does my business appeal to the values of who my customers will potentially be? If you look at your skills, your strengths, and then just other personal characteristics and criteria, I'll give an example. There's a business idea that I've had in my mind for a couple of years now, but when I think about it, some of the questions that I have to ask myself are, starting small, a lot of the responsibility would fall on my shoulders. So I, really have to consider, is that something that I want for myself? Do I want to put in the long hours? If it's not going to be me putting in the long hours, who would I hire? Would I really trust, that person to really give them the car keys and help them really drive my vision forward? So these are all questions that you really have to ask yourself. Is it doable? Does it fill a gap? Again, that goes back to the question of need. Who needs this business? Is it better, faster? What separates it from other businesses that are out there? And then lastly, is it sustainable? Meaning, considering that 50% of businesses may fail. What's going to be the differential that makes your business succeed? To help you answer some of those key questions, it's very important that you conduct market research, prior to getting started. I have listed here, some of the resources that, I go to very often just for my own research, which helps me be able to share this information with, with business owners. But the Harrisburg Regional Chamber in Creeding is a local organization that is available to really be a resource for local businesses. At their website, they have a very detailed tool which you're able to use, which helps you drill down and identify local businesses that may potentially be competitors to your business. It also helps to answer that question about need, whether your business is doable and whether it has a spot, if it is a fit locally. So for example, let's say if you wanted to open a consulting firm, maybe a health and wellness consulting firm, you're able to plug that into Creeding's business tool to identify in the local radius how many other businesses like your business idea exist in the region. Maybe you find out that there are no other businesses, which is maybe great for you. But also you may find out that you would be maybe one of hundreds of other similar businesses, which again is not a bad thing, but you would just then need to figure out how to differentiate, what you're doing from maybe what other businesses are currently offering. So again, very important to do your research. The Small Business Administration, the Office of Advocacy, provides a lot of great graphs, information that's available to help you with your research. Some of the information that you'll see, today, charts, graphics, I pulled from the SBA. The PA Center of Workforce Information and Analysis is going to provide you a different kind of information, but also very useful information. CWIA focuses a little bit more on workforce. So for example, based on the idea that you may have, you may want to look at something like unemployment rates in a particular county. That could help you determine if you wanted to open your business in that particular geographic region. Maybe the unemployment rates there are high, So you figure, wow, obviously this business, this area needs more employers. Maybe I can help to fill that void. Or you may look at a specific kind of employment in a certain area. Maybe your business is focused on agriculture. So looking at some of the data that's available through CWIA, you could find out which counties are employing people in agricultural fields. Again, this will help you determine if that area would be the right fit for your business. If you look in the blue thought bubble there, something I wanted to point out was the fact that using data will help you remove the emotion, which I think is very important. If you're starting a business, it's kind of like your baby. Okay, you're going to be very emotionally attached, to that idea. It could be something that you've been working and planning on for years. But I think it's very important that you conduct market research, find out what the numbers say, because it could be that data which it may help you determine that, hey, my idea is not feasible. Okay, as much as I like this idea, as much as I've put blood, sweat, and tears into coming up with this business idea, it's just not going to be feasible. It's not going to be sustainable. So maybe not in that in that current fashion or that current form. May not mean that you have to scrap it totally, but there may just be some key adjustments that you need to make. The other side of that is maybe you're a little hesitant, about taking that next step forward. Through your market research, you may find that right now is absolutely a great time to move forward with that business. You may determine that there is not a need being filled, for the type of service or type of product that you have to offer. So again, the data may tell you a completely different story than what you think and kind of what you feel on the inside. So try to rely on facts as much as you can. Doing market research will help you with that, so that it's not as emotional of a process for you. In addition to your market research, community resources can be very important. Provided a list here of different kind of industries or places that you may want to go to get help, guidance, and support. I'll give you an example. Maybe you have an idea of a way to help students right now, okay? Due to COVID-19, the educational system, has really been flipped upside down. In the past, yes, there were some students who were homeschooled and participating in some cyber school, but that number has really skyrocketed, since March. That's put some added stressors on the educational industry, on schools. So, maybe right now, there's an idea that you have to be able to provide a supported service to students. How can you figure out whether that idea is feasible or not? By having conversations with people who are in the industry. So maybe reaching out and speaking to teachers, guidance counselors, principals, superintendents. They'll be able to give you a clear picture of the types of support that they need. You could ask them questions like, what's keeping you up at night? What's the, if you had, one really, really good type of support that you could find, what would that be? That's a clear-cut path for you to figure out whether you can fulfill that need, with your business ideas. So, get out there and have those conversations with people in the industry. That's probably one of the better ways to find out what's going on. It can help you make decisions on where you need to go in your next steps. So our question is a business plan necessary? You may hear different feedback from people that will tell you, well, maybe you need one, maybe you don't. Absolutely, yes. A business plan is absolutely necessary. So what we'll discuss next is, what that entails and what that business plan looks like and why it's important. A business plan is a roadmap to your business success. It's going to include many key details, such as providing a measure for evaluating your results. We mentioned, feasibility. Your business plan is going to include a feasibility study that you've conducted from your market research. Your business plan is going to be a selling tool so that when you are seeking financing, when you're maybe seeking partners to help assist you, you'll be able to answer any questions that they may have through a detailed business plan. So this gives you an idea of what your business plan should include. General information, as you see there. Some of the highlights, I would say would definitely be your executive summary. That's really going to be kind of the overarching view of your business idea. You'll list out staffing. You'll list out, really from A to Z, what your business looks like. Just kind of creating a clear picture for, potential investors, potential partners. Your business profile is going to be a description of the business. Again, what you want to do is to kind of remove, some of the questions that, people may ask around your business. Because of this, it's very important for you to have a clear understanding of your business as well. Going back to, that's the reason why the research is so important. Having conversations with people in the industry, very important. If you don't have a clear understanding of your business, how will you be able to explain that to anyone else? So moving through, that list, other key elements, of your business plan, which again, we will dive into here. So part of the question is asking yourself, what is it you hope to achieve, with your business? Again, whether it's a product that you're going to offer or services, that you have to offer as well. Looking at how it will benefit your customers. This is part of you having a clear vision, which is very important. Just backtrack a second to the business plan. Part of that clear vision comes through looking at your industry background and trends. So right now, if you figure due to COVID-19, anyone that is maybe going into PPE sales, okay, probably if you date back 12 to 18 months, you wouldn't see a large growth, in that industry. But if you're putting together a business plan right now, the way that graph would look, it would skyrocket, at March, showing that, there has been heavily increased demand in the market for things like surgical masks, hand sanitizer, face shields, gloves, okay? I was on a meeting last week and I heard a business owner say that right now, Q-tip swabs, the long swabs are at, he has never seen as high demand at any time previously for that, such that they were at a point where they needed to take some pre-made packets of swabs that maybe had other items inside, maybe came with the gloves inside or maybe napkins. But his business was at a point where they were now breaking down those packets to take out the swabs so that they could ship those to hospitals and to healthcare providers. So, I say that to say it's very important to know your industry background and to be aware of trends. And those trends, as I just said, would be, previous, spending, what that looks like. Are people purchasing, these items? Are people, patronizing this service? How long? 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago, what that looks like, compared to now. Customers, very important in your business plan to know who am I selling to? Who is going to, to buy my product? Who's going to use my service? Whether that be healthcare related, whether it be, looking at demographic information, younger people, men, women, people of different ethnic backgrounds. This can be done through surveys. but then also, as I mentioned, conducting your market research so that you know who your customers are. Next is also very important to know who your competitors are. This is where we have that discussion around feasibility, around ability to scale your business. You need to know, is there a market for you? Who will you be competing with? You need to ask yourself, how can you differentiate your product from some of the other competitors who are in the market? So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those items in your business plan. Again, a lot of this information is available to you online, but we did want to spend some time talking about why it's important to compile this information and present it in a complete package, which you're able to give to potential investors and also partners. Because if you're looking for financing, it's going to be almost impossible to do that without a business plan. Because that lending agency, they need to know, what are your projections for yourself over the next year, 2 years, 5 years. They want to know, are they going to be able to, are you going to be able to be profitable enough so that you're able to repay your loan? So having a business plan is very important. So I started to share a little bit about the clear vision. I think all of that goes into any planning that you are going to be doing. And as we move through the presentation, you'll see a lot of questions. And I think that's really part of this process is answering the tough questions. Coming up with certain questions, and then how you go about finding those answers. Having a clear mission is important. A solid understanding of the day-to-day function of the organization. So asking yourself the following questions: who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Where do you do it? All of those answers will guide you with regard to developing your mission. Again, why your business is important. If you have a business, why I should patronize you instead of the similar business that is down the block. I think, if anything, again, the last 8 or 9 months have really shown us the importance of businesses that have a clear focus. Some businesses are unfortunately not going to make it out of this pandemic, but I think the businesses that were able to to shift, to be flexible, to pivot, that may be a term that you've heard more in the last few months. Businesses that were able to do that and were able to stay relevant and able to stay successful in this changing business landscape. Okay, deciding on your value proposition is very important. Your value proposition makes it clear to customers, what they're going to receive. So it's really kind of the what's in it for me. As far as why I would choose to do business with you as opposed to another business. Customers typically they're looking for several benefit characteristics like convenience, price, design, accessibility. That value proposition really is kind of where you stand as you move forward. Prime example of that is the U.S. Postal Service. Now I know as of late some of what we used to know about the Postal Service, I think maybe be different, now. Hopefully they can get back on track. But I use that example, just to say that, for many years, rain, sleet, or snow was really their value proposition. You could be assured that if you needed to send a package to loved ones during the holidays, that it was going to get there on time. If you were expecting to receive something, you expect that you're going to get it on time. Other examples would be maybe Google. Google has really carved out their section of the marketing being, the best search engine in the world. Other businesses, maybe your Amazons. Amazon can boast of convenience, timely shipping. Amazon Prime, you're able to get your products in a day or less. That is the value proposition. Okay. That is what you need to be able to decide, what makes you stand out from other businesses, and why would someone want to patronize you. Okay. Moving on to everybody's maybe favorite, or I don't know, maybe least favorite, aspect of starting your business is identifying financing options. So, there's, many different options out there in the market. I'm going to focus on just three today. Three options that are available through the SBA. One type of loan that you may be familiar with is the 7A loan. This is an interest rate negotiated between the lender and the borrower. So the SBA is not actually going to be your lender. It's going to be through your local bank. Typically, the 7A loan is going to be able to provide you with anywhere from about $50,000 to $5 million in financing. It's going to be best for startups, as you see there, business acquisition. It's good sometimes if you don't have much collateral, and also if you are a business owner with good credit, then that 7A loan may be an option that you want to consider. Next is the CDC or 504 program. 504 loan. Again, that may be a term that you've heard. Maybe some of you have even gone through the process already. But your 504 loans are typically going to go through in a CDC. A CDC is a community development corporation. Typically, CDCs are nonprofit organizations that largely, one of their kind of main business areas or focuses are redevelopment of blighted properties. So in some towns and cities, your CDCs will purchase blighted properties and redevelop them, sometimes creating affordable housing, or sometimes turning areas into green spaces, which will really just improve the the look and the feel of the community. 504 loans have fixed interest rates. Generally, those loans are going to be in value of $25,000 to $5.5 million. The CDC 504 program, good for existing businesses and also for startups. This loan will allow you to reduce the owner contribution into a project. If you are looking to, create more jobs, this is a good option as well. And typically, the business owner is going to have excellent or good credit. If you look at the graphic there, how it's broken down is the bank is going to provide about 50% of that financing, and then 40% of that loan will actually come from the federal government. So that 40% will actually come from the SBA, and then there is a 10% borrower down payment. These 504 loans, they can also be used for purchasing equipment that may be used, geared towards the furthering of your business. So again, I think each one of these different options, which I'll talk about, I don't think, I can't say that either one is good or better than the other. I think it's more based on you, again, knowing your business and finding the best fit for yourself and for your needs. Lastly, microloans. Microloans are negotiated between the borrower and between the intermediaries. So a good example of a microloan is actually locally in York County. They recently partnered with a small nonprofit called Kiva. I have listed there if you want to look it up. But basically what Kiva does is they do crowdfunding. So if you're familiar with GoFundMe or also with Kickstarter, those are crowdfunding sources. But Kiva does crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, which allows individuals to make donations to their nonprofit, and then those funds are utilized to provide grants and loans to small businesses. So I think it's a really, really cool way of really having citizens and having members of the community contribute to growing the small business community. Typically, this is going to be a maximum of $50,000. So again, placing that cap on that loan, as I mentioned, we're looking at small businesses. A lot of times, these microloans are going to be for startups. So, these may be for owners and individuals that are not, bringing a lot of money to the table. Also, you'll see there sometimes a microloan may be a good option for someone who has had past credit issues that have affected their credit score, which now may present them with some difficulty in getting a loan, through some more traditional means. So again, as I said, I think, looking at these three options is very important to consider, your own status, consider, where you are financially, what your needs are, and how you're going to be utilizing the money. That will determine which of these options is probably the best for you. Okay. So registering your business, I'm going to talk about the city of Harrisburg's process when we discuss municipal business licenses. Again, I will say, depending on where you live, it's important to check with your local municipality, because every municipality does not require a municipal business license. Harrisburg does. So that's the process which I'll speak about. But again, if you want to know what the rules are where you live, then you'll check with your local municipality. But Harrisburg does have a process to acquire a business privilege and mercantile license. It's costs $50. It's renewable every year. The process is for businesses that are located within Harrisburg, or for any business that wants to do trade in Harrisburg. So maybe if your business is in another township or another city anywhere across the state, it is necessary to acquire that business privilege and mercantile license. Recently, you may be more familiar with pop-up shops, also things like kind of the vendor community, food trucks, or I know sometimes there are businesses that kind of do pop-up jewelry sales. That would fall underneath being a vendor. So there is a vendor license which you would need to acquire in that case. So you don't need to acquire the business privilege and mercantile license. So you're not asked to acquire both of them. If you're not a brick and mortar business that's going to be located in Harrisburg, you may just be acquiring the vendor license. Along with that, I use that example of the pop-up shop. Let's say you're you have a jewelry business where maybe you make necklaces and bracelets, earrings. Maybe you're going to be setting up your shop at a location in the city. You would then need to get an owner's consent form. What that does is it gives the city recognition that the location where you'll be, that the owner of that location is aware that you'll be conducting business there. So it's an owner's consent form. Again, just make sure that the city is aware and that the owner of that location is aware that you are conducting business, so that they can't come back later and say that you maybe owe them money or that they were not aware. Once you submit your business privilege and mercantile license application, it's going to pass through some different channels at the city. It's going to take a look to see if there are any zoning requirements. The city is zoned differently based on what kind of business that you're opening, whether it's commercial or industrial. There are certain areas, commercial neighborhoods, residential neighborhoods in Harrisburg where certain businesses are not permitted. So, the zoning is a requirement. Also, fire prevention. And again, these are really just based around safety of yourself and others in the community. The home occupation agreement is designed to identify if you're going to be operating an at-home business. So this would typically include childcare, some professional services. Maybe you do tax services out of the home. That home occupation agreement just identifies that you are running a business out of your dwelling. The health license is an additional add-on. Generally, that's going to be included for businesses that are as I mentioned, childcare. So if you're performing any childcare, home health services, food services. So again, if you're operating a restaurant, cafe, a deli, you will need to be in touch with our city's health inspector, so that they can make sure that you are in compliance with any of the health requirements. So again, for some it may seem like a lot, but really it's not. It's a pretty streamlined process. You submit one application. Those other add-ons that I mentioned are attachments to that application. You submit it to our tax administrator, and then the different departments, planning, zoning, codes, and the health inspector will all touch that application and then get back to you with any questions or concerns. Okay. The PA State Business Registration. There's a website called the PA Business One-Stop Shop. This is a service that's provided by the Commonwealth's Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED. If you go onto that website, they give you a very detailed list. I have the 8 steps listed here of the process to acquire your PA State Business Registration. First, you want to look at any requirements with your financial institutions or insurance companies. So again, these would be, your banks, just making sure that, all of that information is in order. Check for any special registrations if applicable. Step 3 is asking that you confirm that your professional licensure is current. So depending on the kind of business that you're opening, let's say that you are a tax preparer, or maybe you're a barber, or maybe you're in the construction trades, electrician, carpenter. There may be certain certifications that you need in order to open a business. Very important to make sure that those are up to date, and that you are in compliance, because that's an element that would need to be secure prior to you registering your business with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Step 4, check with your local municipality, as I mentioned. That way you can find out if there's any licensing that you need to do at a local level before you apply for your state registration. Registering your business structure. Business structure, is deciding on whether you want to be an LLC, an S corp, just looking at what level of incorporation that you want to pursue. And again, I would suggest researching this. Different tax, different structures going to help you with knowing how much taxes you'll pay, but then also certain liability. So it's very important to know how you want to structure your business. Step 6 is registering your fictitious name. You need a fictitious name if you plan to do business under any other name other than your given name, or other than the name that you'll be registering your business. So for example, if I wanted to register my business as Jones LLC, but let's say I wanted to operate under the name Keeping Up with the Joneses, I don't know, that would then be my fictitious name. So there's a process where you are able to search that fictitious name just to make sure that it's not currently in use, and then you could have that added to your registration as well. Step 7 is applying for your FEIN. In some cases, maybe if you are a sole proprietor, I mentioned you may just be a one-person e-commerce business. You may be able to use your social security number. If not, then you may need to actually register for an FEIN, and one will be issued to you at your time of registration. And then lastly, registering for your state tax and your employer accounts. So again, very specific steps. I think, for someone who's just going through this process the first time, the PA Business One-Stop Shop, tries to make that process easier for you. If you're interested in getting a customized checklist, you can follow the link that is listed there, and you're able to kind of go through screen by screen. It asks you a series of questions, and then based on how you answer the questions, once you finish up, it will give you a list that you can save or print out, which keeps you on the right track and moving forward with getting your business registered. Okay. so get to a point where you ask, okay, what's next? What do I do now? I've done the research. You've determined that your business idea is feasible. You have a business plan, and you just need to know, what do you do next? And, maybe, when do I do these things? Yeah, I would say, there's no time like the present. Right now, tomorrow, as soon as you wake up, make a plan for yourself as far as, what you want to do next. We've discussed the steps. I really think the key is in the research, just making sure that you are able to utilize that information to really put together a very detailed business plan. So as I said, do the research, start developing your business plan. I have listed there 2 organizations, SCORE and also the SBDC, which is a Small Business Development Center. Through those 2 organizations, you can receive one-to-one business mentoring. I really can't stress the value of that. Having someone who is, SCORE is really made up of individuals who volunteer that are, business owners themselves. So there's tons of, first person knowledge, which is available to you there. And then the SBDCs, they are connected to the Small Business Administration. Typically, your SBDCs are run out of colleges. So I know that there's one at Penn State has an SBDC. Kutztown University has an SBDC. Again, they have professionals there who are able to help you with your business plan, just really so you're not moving through in the dark. Keep learning. If you're on this call today, congratulations to you. I think that's a huge step. Just to really invest the time that it's going to take to get to know yourself as an entrepreneur, get to know your market, and really develop your business idea. Investing that time is important. So keep learning. And then lastly, share your idea. I know in this world today, a lot of us are maybe sometimes worried about, intellectual property or maybe having your business idea be taken. Through the SCORE and the SBDC, I know they do have you sign off on some confidentiality agreements, so they won't take your idea or won't share it with other people. But again, I'd say kind of relax some of that fear. Some of the best ways to develop your idea is through having conversations. So maybe talking to different people, getting it out of your head, hearing it out loud will allow you to really determine if that idea is feasible and if it's something that you can move forward on. And then lastly, share your successes. I think each step that we talked about today, once you complete that step, you can check it off and move forward. So really, once you go through all the planning and the conceptualization, your next step and you owe it to yourself to begin to execute and move forward. So I thank you very much for being with us. And if there are any questions, we can take questions now.
Great, thank you so much, Jamal. Yeah, everyone, you can certainly use the chat feature to ask any questions, but because we're a small group, if you find it easier just to unmute yourself to ask a question, that is fine too.
Hey Jamal, it's Alexander Keys here.
Hi, Alexander.
How you doing? I just had a quick question about the number 5, registering your business structure. I was just curious about, the different structures, if you can kind of go into that and talk about LLC and, what the difference is between those.
Okay. So an LLC is a limited liability company. Typically, you'll find a lot of small businesses. So maybe if you're just one person, maybe it's just yourself and, very, very small staff, that LLC will, it allows you to, well, it's basically just in the name, it's limited liability. So what that does is it protects you, from, being sued. It allows you to, obviously being one person, maybe not having the benefit of, as much, capital as a larger corporation, would have, is going to protect you, against liability. Some of your larger companies, are incorporated, so that's where you may see businesses that are, that are companies, so in their business name, you'll see, CO period listed after it, or they may be incorporated, INC. So basically that kind of in a nutshell is how businesses are structured. Again, liability, is important, so it protects you. And then also regarded to certain, local, state, federal taxes, also based on how you're structured, it makes you eligible to be taxed either at a higher or a lower rate.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I see there's two questions in the chat here. The first, okay, thank you, Cynthia. Just as she had to attend another meeting. So thank you very much for being here. Secondly, from Christina, could you recommend a good resource online or in print that can help guide you through the creation of a business plan when it breaks down each step? Yes, if you go to, I mentioned the Kutztown University, SBDC, and they should, be pretty searchable. There are some guides there for a business plan. Also, we have a business plan template that's available to you on City of Harrisburg's website. So if you want to reach out to me at that email address that I provided, businessdevelopment@harrisburgpa.gov. If you want to shoot me an email, I could send you a copy of that template, and that should give you the kind of a step-by-step breakdown on how to write a business plan. Oh, you're welcome, Christina. There's another question from Anne Marie. What is the process for working one-on-one with the Department of Economic Development? How to make appointments? Again, if you want to send an email to that email address, that's probably the easiest way. Again, businessdevelopment@harrisburgpa.gov. If you shoot us an email there, then someone will get back to you. Right now, just due to COVID-19, we're not doing in-person meetings, but we could schedule a phone call or could schedule a one-on-one Zoom meeting, which would be able to provide you with similar assistance. You're welcome. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. If not, then once again, I want to thank thank Ashley and thank the Dauphin County Library System for allowing me to come and speak with you all today. I hope that the information that I shared was timely, and I hope it clears up some questions that you may have, and I hope it really pushes you forward and motivates you to to really getting in the weeds and working on those business ideas. As I mentioned at the beginning, I think a lot of us have ideas and have tons of skills. Sometimes it can be a little scary to take that leap, but I think most importantly, if you have the information, and I think you have to be proactive. So asking yourself those questions, doing the research, using the resources that are around you, I think that you can bring those ideas, get them out of your head and have those ideas become a reality. So thank you all very much.